Alright, we're live. We're watching some footage. This is a very controversial video here. Of course, you can see full credit to Artem Cheshpinya for releasing this footage, which is a very cool opportunity to see a man in the rainbow jersey just riding around. But what are we looking at? Let's look at his metrics. Assuming that they are correct, we're seeing that this rider is holding around 390 to 420 watts range to hold the wheel of Remco Evenepoel. Now, this video is titled Interval on the Wheel of Remco Evenepoel. I'm going to explain why I believe that this video is stupid and why Remco is not a villain as is portrayed here for trying to Sunday badass or get rid of this guy. Now let's get into it. First and foremost, how many hours you think Remco Evenepoel rode today? I think 5, 6, possibly maybe 7 hours. This video was from 3 months ago, which, as you know, is part of the base season. A guy like Remco Evenepoel is doing a massive base, probably exceeding 30 hours a week in some cases. And we're talking about a guy that has a very high threshold, of course. You know, he's a world champion, he's a Grand Tour climber, he has multiple hilltop finish victories, and he's known as a guy that's a very strong all-rounder, but in particular a very strong climber. So what's happening here is we have a guy who is doing zone 2 training during his base months, probably doing at least 3.7 watts per kilo in zone 2. So if you do the math, for most people, it will appear that Remco Evenepoel is doing interval, right? 3.7 watts per kilo for a normal rider is probably approaching their sweet spot, and like if it surge a little bit, the gradient goes up, that can exceed sweet spot and enter into a threshold level effort. So you have a gentleman, this guy probably just came along, he rode down the road, like he's doing 5 to 8 hours a week. He's on his little Sunday ride. He sees Remco Evenepoel and he pulls up on his wheel and believes that he's doing an interval race against this guy. So first and foremost, this demonstrates a fundamental lack of respect. Anyone who is a more serious rider understands that when you see another rider out on the great course like this with a lot of kilometers, you have to be respectful of the fact that you don't know where this guy just came from, right? You could see him on the end of a 7-hour hard long ride. He just want to get home to his house and he want to meet his target zones. He knows he's in a good place. He's already wearing the world champion's jersey, right? He just need to finish his training as per his coach, and then he can return to his house. He has a very beautiful girlfriend. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I am 100% certain that he does not want to leave his zone 2 training. He's doing a polarized base. This gentleman, it's cool that you're able to hold his wheel, and it's cool that like you made him raise his tempo from like zone 2 to like tempo zone, right? He probably started doing 4.3 watts per kilo for a little bit. It's a bit naughty. When you're training this many hours like Remco, it's a bit naughty. He's not supposed to do it. He's a competitive guy. To get to where he is in the sport, you have to be competitive. We all know you go out climbing, like you come up to the wheel of this gentleman, you're gonna get to that wheel, you're gonna surf to the next wheel. That's totally fine. For us amateurs, we don't have that much to lose. But for Remco, when he raises heart rate too high, he knows he's like, damn, I need to do an additional 10-15 minutes now of cooldown to return my heart rate. I'm gonna be studying my heart rate variability, I'm gonna be studying my zones. All of this stuff is super important. That's less time with the girlfriend, that's less time in between the sheets, that's more time on the bike than he needs. And ultimately, it's this huge contrast in the schedule of these two people that makes this action a little bit disrespectful. And I completely understand why he's upset, because anyone who has ever done high volume training, you get 5, 6, 7 hour ride. At a certain point, you're just turning over the pedals in zone 2. You're trying to get home. You're thinking about dinner. You're not thinking about, man, I gotta hold off. He's dropping 99% of riders in his zone 2 easily. He's a world champion. He has nothing to prove, guys. But when this guy is making interval and starting to half wheel race him or hold his wheel, like, that's chill. To be honest, if it were me, I would pull up. I'd be like, yo, my man, when am I gonna see you in the Tour de France? He would say, next year, bro, I'm gonna take on Pogacar and Roglic, and I'm gonna sign Mike Woods to join my team. He's gonna be my domestic. That's all, guys, for the video. I gotta just say that I don't think this is a red flag against Remco, and I had to make this video because so many people are telling me, oh, I like this rider, I don't like this rider, and I think Remco is cocky because of this. And, you know, he had some more stuff at Tirreno Adriatico that a couple guys saw. This video in particular, it seems like everyone saw it. And at the end of the day, you gotta respect the schedule people are on, and you gotta respect their zones. He doesn't want to leave his zone. If you know about heart rate variability training, you know that he's trying to keep his heart rate low within his target range, and he's trying to stay in his zone 2. And for him, normally he will surf by 99.9% of riders while doing this. There's a guy who's able to raise it. He's holding 400 watts for 5 minutes to try to hold Remco. That's cool, man, but you gotta understand Remco is a competitive guy, so you're creating a contrast with him. Like, he doesn't want to do it for training purposes to race, but he will want to race because he's an animal. You need that competitive drive. So you're kind of tearing him apart, and I think just a little bit of empathy for his schedule, and you will understand that this is not him being some kind of asshole. It's just what it is, man. He's a professional rider. So GG.